Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we're going to talk about light novels. Now, we're not doing a review, we're going to do a top 3, top 5, top 4, I don't know exactly how many. And we're going to talk about a series of light novels that I read that are my favorite so far from what I have read of each. It's not necessarily fair because I've read more than one volume of some series and not of others. So I'll try to keep it only sticking to the first volume. But it's a little hard because now that I know these things, I'll get kind of subconsciously remember those things as part of the first volume, if that kind of makes sense. It's not exactly fair, but I'll try to keep it as contained as possible to the first volume. Now, so yeah, I'll give you my top 3. I'll have some honorable mentions, and then I will kind of explain why I like each one of them as we go. So yeah, please stick around. Please like and subscribe and comment down below. Let me know what your favorite light novels are. So let's jump right into it. The third best light novel that I've read is Shield Hero. Now, I really like Shield Hero, one, because it's interesting. It's dark fantasy. It deals with this guy that doesn't have a weapon, but it still has to be the hero and has to have enough strength to defeat, you know, the wave of monsters. But my favorite part about it was actually the character work. I really liked Naofumi. I really enjoyed the fact that he was a really good guy, but then something horrible happened to him and he completely turned into something else. Like, he got so depressed that he couldn't taste food. He basically hated everything and everyone. And even though he hated everything and everyone, he still did what he had to. Not necessarily out of duty, but just because he thought it was the right thing, I guess, to an extent. I just really liked it. I thought it was interesting that a light novel kind of dealt with someone that was experiencing something as rough as the depression that Naofumi felt. I think the only other series that I can think of off the top of my head that deals with something like that is Blue Steel Blasphemer. So yeah, that was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to get 2 through 6 of Shield Hero pretty soon, sometime this month. So go watch my July haul at the end of the month. So the next one on the list is going to be DanMachi. Okay, so I really like DanMachi, or Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? It's really great. I love the fantasy aspects in it. I love the way Belle is. Like, the character work is pretty good, but I just really love the fight scenes. Okay, Omori is a very good writer of fight scenes, of battle scenes. There's just such a rhythm to them, such a staccato kind of flow. Everything is choppy, it's quick, it's fast, and it's just really well done. And it might be the first person aspect of it. Most Western fantasy is written in third person, and so third person battles feel like you're watching from above, and it doesn't feel like you're the person going through the motions, right? But because light novels are usually first person, and DanMachi specifically, it is very centered on you being Belle, on you feeling like him. It really changes up how the dynamic of the battle goes. You're sitting there and you feel like you're in motion as you read. And so I really, really like that. Plus, there's so many waifus. It's just really fun to read. Now, we're going to talk about honorable mentions here. The first one that I do want to do an honorable mention for is Infinite Dendogram. Now, I didn't put it on my top 3 because even though I really loved it and I really thought it was amazing, I haven't read enough of it, or at least the first volume didn't cover enough for me to really warrant it being put at the top, if that makes sense. It was amazing, it was good, but it focused too much on, hey, this is a cool video game idea that we don't have in the real world, so I'm just going to explain a bunch of it to you. And it's kind of weird because a lot of the other light novels do the same thing in volume 1, but it just felt a little too much in retrospect when I'm thinking about Infinite Dendogram. If a little bit of the second volume of Infinite Dendogram was in volume 1, I think it would have easily been in my top 3. The one that I'm putting on my honorable mentions is Blue Steel Blasphemer. Now, this one is kind of like Shield Hero, and I really loved that it was like a steampunk-esque type of story. There was guns, and then there was also magic in it, and I thought that was super cool. The only problem was that it veered off course sometimes, and it kind of messed up the flow of the story a little bit, but it was really, really good, and I really enjoyed myself reading it. I think I need to read more of it before I can really pass judgment on it. So it's just going to stay in my honorable mentions. Now, there's 2 more honorable mentions, which is weird because it's going to be longer than my proper list. But Devil's a Part-Timer is really fun. It's a good slice of life. But it didn't make it into my list because it's too slow, if that makes sense. A lot of times reading the first volume, I kind of felt that it was a little slow, that it wasn't moving enough. And I didn't love Emi Yusa. Like, her character, while interesting, was kind of unnecessarily mean. And she was the good guy in the story. Or like, in her story, I guess. So I didn't love it that much. I feel like she was being really mean to Mao. Although he's technically the bad guy, from her point of view, it was really unnecessary when he was being so nice to her. So I wasn't really enjoying it as much as the other ones on the list. Now, the last one I want to talk about is Cooking with Wild Game. This is the only foodie manga or foodie light novel that I've read, and I do want to get into more of them, but it's not going to make it to the top 3 because it was lacking in enough story. I think it was really interesting and I really enjoyed it, but it didn't compare to the other ones that I wanted to mention. So I can't think of anything specifically bad about it. It's just that it doesn't measure up to the other ones, but I did want to mention it just because I really love it. And now, without further ado, my number 1 favorite light novel that I've read is Der Werewolf, The Annals of Light. Now, this is weird because it's probably the most boring out of all of them. It's the most slow going, and it's the one with a lot of talking and not a lot of action. But I really love the concept of it. I really enjoy the way that the society of demons is juxtaposed with the society of humans, and how this guy that was isekai'd into the body of a demon with the mind of a human is able to kind of play both sides in order to be successful. And I really like his character. I like that Veit is a very laid back, like, I don't want to do anything kind of guy. But the fact that he's so much more able than most of the demons because he has a human mindset, and he has so much more knowledge than them in general because he went through, modern Japanese education, really makes him very formidable in general. And so I thought that was really fun. I also liked the whole idea of, like, someone that can play both camps is going to be a great arbiter and is going to be able to develop a good thriving place if he's given the opportunity and the manpower to handle it. And that's basically what Veit does. And I love that. I thought it was really fun. So yeah, that's basically it. This is a little bit of a different video. It's just I have to pre-record a bunch of stuff because I'm going to be really busy with some schoolwork that I have to do because I have to take a summer class. And so I won't have time to read and then record reviews. So I'm just going to do a bunch of stuff beforehand. So hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys had a good time listening to me. And yeah, like I said before, please comment down below. Let me know what you guys have read and what you enjoy the most. And if you have your own top 3 to list, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, please like and subscribe and comment down below, like I said. Thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.